Here we are. Welcome to another edition of the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Daniel Pineda.
My name's Adele Quo.
And what you see is what you get. Here we are. We've
Unfortunately,
all survived.
Right? After how many
I
years?
survived tax
We've all
day.
survived tax day.
Yeah.
We hope you got your taxes taken care of, and you and the IRS and other tax entities
catastrophe,
are in
the
good shape and
shutdown or
on
whatever.
friendly
Woo.
terms after that. Well, they extended it for a day, so hey,
Yes,
you know, that's not
I
too
know,
bad
but
because
yesterday was bad.
they were having computer problems. I
Yeah,
guess,
website
anyway.
was unfortunately down, right, Craig?
I guess so. Yes, it was. So they gave us an extra day. So that's good news. Anyway, and the other good news is that we're here to bring you another edition of the Arlington Weekly News Post-Tax Day 2018. Our news and community bulletin board segments, as always. Adele is here with another installment of
It's
Easy being green.
Getting better at that almost
Wow.
week by week, aren't we?
We got it.
CBB, as I mentioned, a roll-in and one of our favorite guests and artists and musicians on our Studio B segments, when we had Studio B, was Jorge Serafin.
Jorge!
And we're going to have Jorge back again by popular demand, playing My Last Promise on this edition of Studio B, I guess, our News for Seniors segment. And then another roll-in with two venerable contributors.
Legends.
To the legends, indeed, to the Arlington Weekly News. Rich Massabny, who is our reviewer, a restaurant reviewer and theater reviewer, and our producer, executive producer, and the originator of the Arlington Weekly News, Don Hammond. And we have some vintage archival tape for you to look at, so stick around for that. And that's our show. But before we begin, here's a social media reminder from Senor Pineda.
Absolutely, Mr. Knoll. And you can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also, facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News, and also on the radio, right, Mr.
Also,
Nolan?
you
got
bet.
it?
Indeed, we are on WERA 96.7 LPFM on your radio dial. Check us out. We're in your ear. Here we go now with the first of our news items. Well, some area residents are raising objections to proposed changes to Upton Hill Regional Park. The Northern Virginia Regional Park Authority, NVRPA, has submitted plans which will include the addition of 91 parking spaces to the existing lot, a new lot with 18 spaces in a lower section of the park, and a new climbing structure that will charge a fee for use. The construction would replace an estimated 33,000 feet of grassy area with impervious pavement, creating problems with stormwater runoff. An additional proposal to add playground lighting is expected to affect wildlife. Opponents to these changes have formed a group called Friends of Upton Hill, and they suggest that the money would be better spent on park maintenance, including removal of trash and invasive plant species. Their other recommendations, that is, can be found on their website, Friends of Upton Hill, which can be found using the Google, take 2 or 3, Google search machine there, search engine, there we go. The site also lists several email addresses for use by concerned citizens, including the Arlington County Board, Parks and Recreation Commission, the Urban Forestry Commission, the Transportation Commission, among others. The site even contains a link to a special Sustainable Scoop report, which provides photographs, pics, and graphics and other information. Anyone wishing to contact NVRPA may do so directly by email. You can check them out at feedback@nvrpa.org. And we'd also like to thank our own Ron, take 2, Corwin Ron Case, and Miriam Gennari, our Styrofoam mom, for helping us out and providing material for this story. Daniel, your turn.
Well, Craig, on to some other news for tonight. Officials from the baby food company Gerber have announced that they will move their headquarters from New Jersey to Roslyn. The move is expected to bring 150 new jobs to Arlington. The announcement was made by Virginia Governor Ralph Northam at the Nestle's Roslyn headquarters. Gerber is a subsidiary of the Nestle Corporation. Governor Northam indicated that he was especially pleased by the move, citing his 30 years as a pediatrician. Other officials praising the move included Representative Don Beyer, Delegate Rip Sullivan, and Arlington County Board Chair Katie Crystal.
And Daniel, also in our news items, Arlington County Police are seeking assistance, your assistance rather, in identifying a suspect in a case involving both burglary and arson. The suspect was shown in surveillance camera footage. The event took place on April 13, sometime around 3:20 in the a.m. An investigation has determined that the suspect forced entry into a shoe store in the 2600 block of Columbia Pike and stole merchandise before setting fire to the store and then fleeing on foot. The suspect is described as a heavy-set male, 30 to 40 years of age, with a full beard and a bald spot. Anyone with information is asked to contact Detective T. Parsons at 703-228-4172, or you can also email Detective Parsons at tparsons@arlingtonva.us. Those who wish to remain anonymous can call Arlington County Crime Solvers at their number, which is 866-411-8477, 866-411-8477. Daniel.
Well, Craig, on Wednesday, April the 18th, there was an open house presented by New Directions. New Directions is a special public high school program in Clarendon. It's designed to provide students with academic, counseling, and vocational training in a small and nurturing environment. More information about this program can be obtained by contacting Chip Bonaire, administrator, at 703-228-2117, or emailing him at his email, that is chip.bonaire@apsva.us.
All right, Daniel, and we'll be back as promised with our CBB, Community Bulletin Board file, right after we hear from Adele Quo and another installment of
It's Easy Being Green. Ka-ching, we got it.
Indeed
That was
it
awesome.
is.
Thank you.
Here's Adele.
So my name's Adele Quo. Welcome back to It's Easy Being Green. Since 1970, Earth Day has been celebrated each April 22nd. Today, millions of Americans fight for a clean and healthy planet. Throughout the month of April, Arlington hosts a variety of daily Earth Day activities, since every day is Earth Day and April is Earth Month in Arlington. And now, if you're ready for a fun global challenge to celebrate Earth Month, Joe Tree Frog, our mascot, invites you to participate in the upcoming City Nature Challenge, that's CNC, April 27th to the 30th, to discover and document the biodiversity of our urban spaces. It's super easy to participate. Join an event on Friday, April 27th with our Arlington County naturalists at www.parks.arlingtonva.us. Or you can view and sign up for a local CNC event in the DC metro area going to www.citynaturechallengedc.wordpress.com. Or you can make observations on your own using the iNaturalist app. From Friday, April 27th to Monday, April 30th, just snap a picture of wild plants, fungi, or animals found outside and note the location of the critter or plant. You can share your nature observations by uploading your findings through the iNaturalist app, and the community will help identify which species it is. Any observation in Arlington will count during the 4-day challenge. Results will be announced on Friday, May 4th. Will our city win? You can learn more at www.citynaturechallenge.org. Easy Being Green encourages everyone from our youngest to oldest citizen scientists to explore nature all around us, even in our cities. By joining in the City Nature Challenge, anyone, especially families, can learn more about what species are in our city and where they are located so we can help study and protect them. What started as a friendly rivalry in 2016 between Los Angeles and San Francisco went national in 2017, with 16 cities participating. Last year, Metro DC, that includes Arlington, came in 7th overall behind Raleigh, North Carolina. So this year, Boston has challenged DC, so we can do better in 2018. Over 65 cities across 17 countries on 5 continents will participate in 2018. This international competition helps people find and document plants and wildlife in cities around the world. So it's an exciting global contest to see which city on the planet can find the most species and who can engage the most residents. So remember, it's easy being green by participating in the Metro DC City Nature Challenge, April 27th through the 30th.
Wow, the challenge is on.
It
Boston
is.
versus DC.
I know.
We're ready for it, right?
17 countries, 65 cities.
course.
This is a big contest.
This is a big one.
This is a big contest.
That's
And
right.
5 continents.
And all you need is your iNaturalist app. Don't forget it.
I was outside for a little while today, and those carpenter bees are flying around. They were dive bombing me,
Yikes.
and they're pretty big. You know, I don't know how you
man.
get a picture of those things because they're always moving
those
around.
must
But
be
they're
kinda
fast,
hard.
right?
they're like bumblebees. You know, they're black and yellow, and
Yes.
but they dive bomb you. You know, I haven't, none of them hit me,
Everything's coming out now.
But yeah, it really is. After the rain we had and the sunshine today, it was a gorgeous day. It was really
was.
nice.
Beautiful, yeah.
And that was a great report. Thanks for your another installment of
Thank
EBG,
you.
Adele. We appreciate it. And keep Earth Day in mind. It's coming up real soon here. Here we go, as promised now, our CBB Community Bulletin Board file. This one, Clay in the Kiln. Here's a fun event for adults called Clay in the Kiln, and it's just a chance to get creative by molding clay into a ring holder or a pinch pot or even a figurine. You could even make a figure of Henry Clay or of Clay Aiken. We were talking about famous clays before we taped tonight. The great compromiser, Henry Clay from the 1800s. So it really would be Clay in the Kiln. But if you don't have to, anyway, take 2, 3, or 4. Anyway, it takes place on Wednesday, April 25 from 1 to 3 in the afternoon at Walter Reed Community Senior Center and Park, 2909 16th Street South here in Arlington. For more information and to register, give Leanne a call at 703-228-0955. Here's Daniel with more.
That's Leanne Canute.
That's Leanne Canute.
Can't forget that last name.
Your turn.
Well, Craig, more CBB stories for tonight. Here's an event for kids ages 6 to 10. It's called the Spring Herp Hunt, and it's about herpetiles, which include both reptiles and amphibians. Kids will search along ponds, streams, and woods, on the lookout for frogs, toads, turtles, snakes, and yes, salamanders. Make sure you bring your waterproof shoes. The cost is $5 per person, and the date is Saturday, April the 28th from 2 to 3 p.m. That's at the Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park. That's located at 625 South Carlin Springs Road in Arlington, Virginia. To register, give them a call at 703-228-6535. More Earth Day news, right?
Earth Day, yes indeed. Also in our CBB file, Daniel, the next story looked a little bit scary at first glance. However, it's how-to bullet journal. A bullet journal, as it turns out, is a kind of combination planner, to-do list, and diary, and it's especially suited for people who like to write things down. You can include chores, appointments, events, or just ideas. Later on, you can use it to review your activities and adjust them in future plans. There's a how-to workshop coming up on Wednesday, April 25, from 6:30 to 8 in the p.m. portion of the day. The Connection is it's at the Connection rather, in Crystal City, 2117 Crystal Plaza Arcade here in Arlington. And by the way, this event is BYOB. That's Bring Your Own Booklet.
Oh,
Booklet. Daniel,
don't depend on others.
your turn.
Right? Well, Craig, the Arlington County Library will host an author talk by Richard Rothstein, a leading authority on housing policy and the author of The Color of Law, a forgotten history of how our government segregated America. The discussion will explore racially explicit government laws and policies, including discriminatory zoning at the local, state, and yes, federal levels. The talk will be held on Thursday, that's May the 3rd, from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Arlington Central Library. Craig, that's located at 1015 North Quincy Street, and you guessed it, everyone, in Arlington, Virginia.
All right, Daniel, and that's it. That's it for CBB. It's over. You made it through another installment of CBB.
Earth Day.
We'll be back with our News for Seniors segment right after we hear from one of our favorite performers here on Studio B, Jorge Serafin and his guitar and his performance of My Last Promise. Here's Jorge.
Wow, Jorge! I mean, the passion.
We
you
love
can really,
Jorge.
it's intense.
He's amazing.
so
Jorge Serafin
passionate.
and his original composition, My Last Promise. That was great. Thanks, Jorge. We
Great
appreciate
job,
it.
Jorge.
Come back and do that again anytime. All right, here we go. As promised now, our NSF News for Seniors Take Two segment here. Walter Reed Senior Center is hosting an Introduction to Medicare, intended for those new to Medicare or curious about future benefits. Medicare counselors from Virginia Insurance Counseling and Assistance Program, Karma Ryan and John Glowacki, will present the program. That's coming up Tuesday, April 24 at 10 in the morning at Walter Reed Community Senior Center and Park, 2909 16th Street South here in Arlington. For more information, give them a call, 703-228-0955. Daniel.
And I know Adele's going to like this next story, and you know what I'm talking about, Adele. It's Tech Tuesday time. Each month, volunteers and staff provide instruction on a variety of tech topics, including basic computing skills. April's feature is how to buy and sell on eBay. It all happens on Tuesday, April the 24th at 1 p.m., also at the Walter Reed Community and Senior Center and Park, located at 2909 16th Street South in Arlington, Virginia. If you need more information, And to register, also give them a call at 703-228-0955. Craig.
And also news for seniors. Well, ARP is offering its popular two-day driver safety course for seniors. Seniors can review current rules of the road, learn defensive driving techniques, and a whole lot more. Participants will receive a certificate of completion, which could be used to lower your auto insurance rates. The cost is $20 or $15 if you're an ARP member. That's coming up on Tuesday, April 24, which is and Wednesday, two-day course, 25 April, from 9 to 1 at Arlington Mill Community Senior Center and Park, 909 South Dinwiddie here in Arlington. For more information and to register, 703-228-7369. Daniel.
Well, Craig, travel writer and editor Jess Moss will share stories and tips from her travels around the world. Miss Moss plans to hold monthly meetings, each highlighting a different destination, including websites, apps for booking and planning, and much more. That all takes place on Tuesday, April the 24th at 6:30 p.m. at the Walter Reed Community and Senior Center and Park, located at 2909 16th Street South in Arlington, Virginia. To register, give them a call at 703-228-0955. And as always, thanks to Judy Massabny for this week's Senior Stories. Thank you, Judy.
All right. We'll be back with sign-off and bye-bye after a little vintage tape from our archives here, looking at an interview with Rich Massabny and Don Hammond. Take a look.
This perhaps is a great interview for me because I'm talking to the guy who hired me maybe about 30 years ago, and he's been the executive producer of the Arlington Weekly News, Don Hammond. How many years has it been, Don?
Well, let's say 81. You do the subtraction. 34 years, is it?
Something like that.
Yeah, right.
You know, I dare say, knowing something about television around town and all, whether the commercial stations or access as we are, you have probably been around this longer than anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I imagine so.
Yeah.
Until someone else claims better.
That's right. That's right. I'm curious, how did you get started and why did you get started in doing, was it always the Arlington Weekly News or was it something else in there?
Well, when we first started out in 81, we got our show and the news in Spanish were taped together. And PAC TV was the organization, just a citizens organization that promoted public access. Originated two of those shows. We taped them both on the same night with the same technical crew.
Really?
And so on, right? And we did that for until we got into the 3-camera situation over in George Mason Metro Campus.
Yeah, yeah. And then we moved into this building here. How many years ago would we guess?
Well, that's been about 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah, that long. You know, we don't really know exactly how many people are watching our shows. We're on channel 69, Comcast 69, and also Fios, Verizon, channel 38. And we're on Thursday nights at 6 o'clock, and we're repeated Saturday morning at 10:30, and then the next Monday night at 8:30 p.m.
Sometimes I understand they show us at 3 in the morning, too.
That's what I understand. Yeah, that's what I understand. I haven't seen it, but it probably is the case. You know, they have something to fill in. What does it take, Don, in these times to produce a show? I have a pretty good idea being around you and around the crew and all that, but you've got a crew that's been working with you and us for some time.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, that's what we rely on, don't we?
Yes, yes, yes.
We couldn't do it without the help of a dozen other people who you don't see on camera generally.
And there's so many talented people. For example, behind camera right now, taking a picture of us, is Bill Calder. He's been with CBS and all that, so he's an experienced guy. And then there's, I can't name them all, but there's Hef Munson.
Right.
He's directed the show sometime around here, and I know there's a lot of talent because I had a little stint on, not for long, a few months, on Channel 9. And be honest with you, I mean, I don't know what they showed that's so greater than what we do.
Right.
You know, this is what changes have you seen over the years? You know.
Well, on the technical side,
Yeah.
we started out originally with 3/4 inch. They called it U-matic tape.
Okay.
Which I think it was generally used by industry mainly. Back in 1981, there weren't any tape machines were just coming into being. Remember beta tape?
Sure, sure.
Those were just coming into being at those times. So then we switched, when we came into this studio, we switched to what they call beta, what was it, beta SP.
Oh, okay.
So I was a 1/2 inch tape. And then about, I don't know exactly, we went to mini DV tape.
Oh.
These are all tapes that people could use on their home cameras. And then just a couple of years ago, we went tapeless. So we got a machine to record on now, something other than tape.
You know, really, a lot of talented people who work on this show. I mean, you know, all of them have some background, you know, and then they bring that experience to here to the access station, and I'm very funny about this. We don't have much time, but I'm very funny about this. I feel that access, which gives opportunity for the irregular person to possibly come on the show, you know. But the talent is the camera guys, everybody else, you, all of them, the guys in the control room there, Jay and others, and Cam, are so talented that they could very easily be doing the same thing at a network television station.
Yeah, imagine, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I've known many of those people. So anyway, I want to thank you very much, Don, for being the executive producer, and I wish you'd do another 30 or 300 years, you know. Right?
Well, I'll probably be rolling over in whatever they say by then.
Well, I want to thank Don Hammond very much for taking the time out to talk to us about the show. So I want to say goodbye. Thank you, Don, very much. This is Rich Massabny.
Well, there's a little vintage tape of those two guys.
So
That's great. We really miss them and wish they were still here. In a lot of ways, they are. They're here all around us here, and we really thank Rich Massabny and Don Hammond for doing all they did for this show for years. So that was a good look. Thanks, Hef, and folks in our video archive department. That's a wrap. We got to roll. We're running short. So thanks for watching this post-tax day edition of the Arlington Weekly News. Have a safe week next week. If you're there, we'll be here and we'll try it all again. Have a good week. Bye-bye.